What's up, everybody? It is your boy Skipx here with another video for you guys here today. And this video right here is just going to be my overall general opinions about Kingdom Hearts 3. Videos talking about the future of Kingdom Hearts 3, where the series is going, things like certain story elements and explaining certain plot points that we got in Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm going to be making those videos very soon, but right now we are just going to be focusing on my general overall opinions of Kingdom Hearts 3, some things that I really enjoyed, some things that I wasn't too big of a fan of, and some things I have some overall mixed opinions about. So, number one thing that I definitively like and I truly enjoy is the music in this game. I think Square Enix did a really amazing job with the music in this game. I can't wait for the OST to come out. With that being said, they didn't add as much new music as I thought they were going to, but what they did in this game is basically they added a few new tracks here and there, but a majority of the tracks in the game were actually just remixes of old tracks or even mashups of songs that we've had before. For example, the Syax boss battle had a mashup slash remix of Vector to the Heavens put together with the Other Promise, which in my personal opinion is my favorite Kingdom Hearts song as of this moment. I really enjoy that song. I've been listening to it on repeat. It's really good. I can't wait for them to sell the OST separately, so Square, you need to get on that very soon. And hopefully they'll be playing a lot of these new songs for the KH Orchestra Tour, because I believe there is a new one coming up for the year of 2019 and going into 2020, but don't quote me on that. Moving on from there, next, obviously, the gameplay. This is the game that I have enjoyed the most since Kingdom Hearts 2. I can say that very easily. Gameplay wise, this is probably the game that I enjoy the best besides Kingdom Hearts 2. With that being said, I do feel like there needs to be a couple of more options when it comes to gameplay and just quality of life changes in general. For number one thing that really threw me off a lot of the time is when the music changed when you used attraction flow. I know a lot of people don't like attraction flow and wish you could turn it off, which there should be an option to do that if you don't want to use it and even not even see it. But when you use attraction flow for a majority of the game, except for when you get to like the final world, for some reason they decided to change the music track, which really throws off a lot of immersion. I would say personally, it's just really weird when you have this really good like boss battle track and then all of a sudden you activate attraction flow and then it changes to this light and happy music, which I don't really like. So if hopefully in the final mix or in a future update, hopefully they give you the option to turn off attraction flow and also turn off the option to change music while attraction flow is active. Moving on from there, links, which are replacements for summons. I really did not enjoy that summons were basically linked to your MP bar and that you could only use them if you had a full MP bar. I didn't really enjoy that. I felt like they should have had their own little separate bar. Maybe they should have been attached to the focus meter, kind of how like back in Kingdom Hearts 2 they were attached to the drive meter, because it's kind of weird because basically links are damn near useless in this game, because it's like, okay, magic is so damn good and puts out so much damage. What is the point of me activating this link, using it, instead of just me spamming magic and hoping I get fires up, waters up, arrows up, or one of the bigger overall magic spells? There's no point in doing that when you can output the same amount of damage in a quicker and easier and safer way than using a link, because in a lot of links you can still take damage, which is really, really bad in my personal opinion. So I feel like links are pretty much useless unless they update it to allow you to have invisibility frames on a lot of the moves, and two, maybe give them their own separate meter so they're not attached to the MP bar, because I really did not enjoy that. Next, reaction commands and limits. While it is kind of weird to me that limits are not attached to the MP bar, because limits don't use any MP or any resource as far as I can see. it does take away a layer of strategy in my opinion. And two, on top of that, the fact that they're random and you can't just choose them off of the menu screen really sucks, because there are some times where we're in Kingdom Hearts 2 where we would just use links to get some invincibility frames to get past a really tough move, which was a layer of strategy that Kingdom Hearts 2 had. But in this game, it's like it literally just comes out whenever you're near a certain when you're near a certain partner character, which I find really upsetting in my opinion. So hopefully in a future update, or even in a final mix package when that eventually comes out, they will allow us to choose when we do links instead of them just being randomized. And if they do allow us to choose limits, I mean, they should cost MP if they do allow us to use limits whenever we want to. There should be a cost for you using a really strong move. That's just how it should be. Moving on from there, I've pretty much talked about how magic is really good in this game. Magic is really good. It's probably the best magic system that they have had in any Kingdom Hearts game. It's basically building upon the foundation of what they had in 0.2. So I really enjoy the magic. I've used magic more than in any other single Kingdom Hearts game, even 2. So that's really good right there. And sometimes I prefer using magic over just doing a combo, which has always been one of Kingdom Hearts' weakest points, is that, yeah, in Kingdom Hearts 1, magic was kind of busted, but it wasn't something that you necessarily needed to use all the time, except for in rare situations. And it wasn't always the best feeling thing. But in Kingdom Hearts 3, it's definitely the best it's ever been when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, in my personal opinion. I love the magic system, and I hope they continue to improve upon this system going forward. So that's pretty much shot locks. I really did enjoy the shot locks. I really enjoyed them, but I did not like the fact that certain shot locks were attached to different keyblades. But I did enjoy the fact that you could basically have 2 different shot locks depending on if you maxed out your shot lock counter. Because, for example, with Ever After, you get the one shot lock where you basically shoot all these beams around if you get the max amount of hits on the shot lock combo meter. But if you don't, you basically have a second heal. If you didn't know that, go and try out the Ever After Keyblade and use the shot lock command, but do not max it out. Just get to like 20 something hits and then let it go. And basically the Ever After Keyblade basically has another heal for you. So in case you are ever running low on potions, or you're ever running low on magic and you can't heal using Cure, Cura, or Cure in the game, you can use the Ever After Keyblade to give you another extra heal. That is something really cool that I never thought would be a shot lock, but it has actually saved me a couple of times in the game. And last but not least, the melee combat and the camera. In some cases, the camera is really bad in this game. And then there are some points where it's just really good. And honestly, I think they're just gonna have to patch that. It's very middle of the road. Sometimes it's on point, and then there are other times where it's just not working correctly. But I have found out that auto camera in this game is really good. Usually a lot of auto cameras in a lot of video games are not very good because they don't really follow the action that well. But in this game, I would have to say personally, in my opinion, I definitely did enjoy the auto camera, and that's what I actually play on. That is really good. And last but not least, when it comes to actual gameplay, keyblades, the comboing, and the transformations. The comboings, the combos in this game did feel a little bit slow. That's just my personal opinion, but they were not bad. They're not like Birth by Sleep useless. So they're fine with me personally. Combos are actually relevant in this game. And that's really all I have to say about that. But then getting into the Keyblade transformations, I did enjoy them. I know a lot of people were upset and kind of disappointed that we weren't getting drive forms, and instead the Keyblade transformations were replacing them. But personally, in my opinion, I feel like Keyblade transformations are a suitable replacement for drives from Kingdom Hearts 2, in my personal opinion. As much as I love Kingdom Hearts 2, I think I actually may prefer the Kingdom Hearts 3 version much better, and the transformations just give you so many variations with your combos. The fact that you can store three different Keyblade transformations up and then just use them back to back to back is really, really cool. I hope that they keep the multiple Keyblades equipped for future games, because that was really cool to do, especially when you were fighting against the boss. At some points, you could literally just take off bars of health in a couple of seconds. It was legit crazy, and I love that, because Sora at this point in time should be very, very strong. He should be taking off bars of health like it's nothing, and I feel like that's something very good that they did in this game. And while a lot of people felt that a lot of enemies had too much health, I feel like it makes sense thematically within this game, because at this point, Sora has gone through Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, even though he doesn't remember it, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Dream Drop Distance in his own personal experience. So at this point, Sora should be pretty adept at fighting, and the enemies that are going to be standing up against him should be very tanky enemies, because Sora should be one-shotting a lot of stuff, even though he has been reset to level 1 once again. So overall, I like a lot of the changes that they made in the new Kingdom Hearts game. I very much enjoy the gameplay, and hopefully they can improve upon this stuff in Kingdom Hearts 4 or whatever is going to be the next Kingdom Hearts game moving forward. With that being said, let's talk about another aspect of gameplay, which is the difficulty. I'm just going to put it out there. Kingdom Hearts 3 is way too easy. Straight up, in my personal opinion, it's way too easy. I know I've played pretty much every single Kingdom Hearts game with the exception of Recoded, but this game is far too easy. I played it on Proud Mode for my first playthrough in Japanese, because I brought the Japanese version with my friend, and then played the English version when it came out on the 29th. But it was never that hard to me. Like, I think at most I died like 6 times in Proud Mode, and I'm talking about between my 2 playthroughs in Japanese and in English. I believe I only died like 2 times. It really was not that hard in general. So I really do hope, as they continue to patch these games, they balance things and make things a little bit more challenging, and hopefully we do get that critical difficulty. And with that being said, on top of that, they really need to scale and rebalance level 1 Proud Mode, because in Proud Mode in Kingdom Hearts 3, on level 1, you're basically doing chip damage the entire game, which anybody will tell you is just not that fun, period. It's not fun at all. Nobody would enjoy that. Nobody should enjoy that. That is torture right there. So hopefully that is something they rebalance and figure out what they're going to do when it comes to scaling level 1 in Kingdom Hearts, hopefully. And that's pretty much all of my opinions on the gameplay. Generally, a lot of the changes were really good, and I feel like they need to scale the difficulty of the game a little bit better, because magic is kind of broken, links are useless, shot locks are pretty cool, but it would be nice to be able to use different shot locks and not have them attached to a keyblade. And the Keyblade transformations are good, while some of them aren't the best. You can't expect every Keyblade transformation to fit you, and 2, they're not all exactly useful for many situations. So with that being said, I overall enjoyed the gameplay. Moving on from there, we have talked about the gameplay and the music. Let's get into the story, because I got some things to say. Sorry about that, you guys. My camera died in the middle of me recording. So, with that being said, this is the time to leave. If you do not want spoilers, or if you have not finished the game and you don't want to hear anything about this, I suggest that you leave right now, because I'm going to have spoiler talk over top of my head for the rest of this video. I'm giving you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's jump into this. So, overall, I do enjoy the story of Kingdom Hearts 3. I do. All of the interactions that we got from characters that we have been waiting to see each other for years now, I enjoyed all of that. We finally got something that I've been wanting, and I know a lot of you guys have wanted too. Yen Sid finally stepped into action. For once, he literally parted the Heartless Sea for our Keyblade wielders to get to the final battle. Like, he legitimately became Moses in that battle. It was crazy. But, for all the interactions that I enjoyed, seeing Roxas and Xion come back, Aqua being freed from the realm of darkness, and her realizing that, us waking up Ventus in the fight against Vanitas, and the, last couple of fights where we got to fight against the 13 Darknesses and how they all had their little goodbye speech, and some of them had a I'll see you later speech, because we know, for example, Luxlord is becoming a somebody, Loxina is becoming a somebody once again, and Marluxia is becoming a somebody. So we're probably going to see those characters in the next Kingdom Hearts game. There are other characters where they're kind of in limbo. And then there are other characters that we know are not coming back. For example, characters that are in limbo, which is really only one character, which is Vanitas. Just the way that conversation ended between him, Ventus, and Sora kind of leads me to believe that Vanitas is going to be something that's always going to be a part of the series, as long as Ventus and Sora are always around, and he'll just come back whenever the plot deems it necessary. Just from the way that ended, it didn't seem like a goodbye. It seemed like more like, you're not going to see me as much, but I'm still going to be here type of speech. Characters who aren't coming back at all, as we know, Xemnas, there's no way for him to basically come back. Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, there's no way for him to come back. Young Xehanort, we know that he is just a time-traveling version of younger Xehanort, so he's going back to his present day, so he's not coming back at all. And Replica Riku is essentially dead as well. He's not coming back at all either. And a lot of these goodbye speeches were really great. I think the best one was actually Xemnas'. I legit felt bad for Xemnas after I beat him. Like, for the first time in years after he feels emotions, the first thing that he feels is loneliness. That's really messed up. That is legitimately messed up. 2, Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, a character that I have never been a really big fan of, but in this game his goodbye speech was really good as well. Kind of talking about the reason why he even went with Xehanort's plans and kept doing what he was doing. It was basically because his original companions betrayed him, and because of that he just fell into a state of apathy and just said, I might as well do this instead of just sitting here on my ass and doing nothing. So basically, the whole reason why Ansem has been this guy this whole time is just basically so he had something to do. Not some big grandiose scheme or because he's Xehanort's Heartless. It's just because he was in a state of apathy and he didn't want to just sit around on his ass. That's crazy. Okay, so talking about some of those outliers and some of those things that I really did enjoy. Let's get into this. The pacing of this game, in my opinion, is one of the worst in the series. And a lot of people are going to disagree. Some people will agree. Let me just say this. If you completely disagree with me, that is fine. But I'm going to explain why I have such an issue with the pacing of this game. And I'll give you an example. And I know some of you are going to groan because I'm going to use Kingdom Hearts 2 as an example because that's the game in the series I've played the most. But just hear me out when I say this. Okay, in the first part of Kingdom Hearts 2 is basically pretty much all Kingdom Hearts shit, from Twilight Town with Roxas to waking up Sora to the Mysterious Tower and then Hollow Bastion, and then from there it's pretty much all Disney stuff for the first half of the game. Mulan, Beast Castle, Olympus, Halloween Town, and a couple of more. Then we get to the mid-game where we have to go back to Hollow Bastion because of the trouble that they're having with Tron's world. We do that, and then in the middle of the game we get this big battle with the Final Fantasy characters and our other comrades fighting against the organization directly, which is more overall Kingdom Hearts stuff. And after that midpoint in Kingdom Hearts 2, from there, when we go back to worlds that we have to visit for a second time, like Mulan and all of these other ones, then the organization is kind of putting their hands into things, messing around with things here and there in order to basically complete their goal of making Kingdom Hearts to regain their hearts. There's like a definitive midpoint in the game basically saying, like, if you only like Disney stuff, do not continue past this point. There's like a definitive point in the game where it shifts from being Kingdom Hearts, then it's Disney, and then it goes back to like, okay, we're back in the Kingdom Hearts mode, and that's what we're going to be doing for the later half of this game. Whereas in Kingdom Hearts 3, we have these really big worlds, and we do get sprinkles of Kingdom Hearts stuff in between. We get the battle with Riku 2 times, we get the battle with Aqua at the end of Big Hero 6, and we get cutscenes here and there, but there's no definitive midpoint in the game. With that being said, and yes, I know there are organization members interfering with the stories of these worlds, Marluxia in Tangled, Loxine in Frozen and such, and Luxlord in Pirates of the Caribbean, but other than Luxlord, the other organization members don't really interfere that much in the plots of these different worlds. They're kind of just there, to be honest. For real. For example, if you compare Xaldin's interference in Kingdom Hearts 3 as opposed to, let's say, Marluxia's, it really isn't comparable. We know that Xaldin confused the beast. He basically brainwashed him into acting the way that he used to act, and basically that is why the beast has such a big grudge against Xaldin in Kingdom Hearts 2, and Xaldin is very prevalent in that second visit. Whereas in Tangled, because the visit is so stretched out, because you're basically doing one visit for each world, and each world is about, let's say, anywhere in between an hour and a half to maybe even 3 hours, depending on if you take your time or not. I believe Marluxia only has like 3 scenes. It's the scene where he meets up with Sora and they talk. It's the scene where he goes to Rapunzel's foster mother, the witch, and basically tries to convince her, which it really wasn't necessary plot-wise to have Marluxia kind of interfere in that. And then 3, when he turns the old lady's heart into a heartless. He really doesn't do that much in the grand scheme of the Tangle world. It was kind of like, Marluxia, let's just throw him here and make him do some shit. I have a serious issue with that, in my personal opinion. Maybe you don't see it that way, but I really do. Next, the fact that it basically shoved everything into the end game. That really annoyed me. Yeah, we got the Riku fights during the middle of the game, but I honestly feel like Aqua's portion of the game where we had to fight her and then eventually save Ventus could have been right smack dab in the middle of the game. And then after we do that, they need to rest because Aqua's been in the realm of darkness for 10 years, constantly fighting, and Ventus has been asleep for 10 years. And I'm pretty sure sleeping in the position that he was sleeping in for 10 years wouldn't feel too good just going right back into battle. So you can just use that to say, okay, they'll be out of commission until the end of the game. Then you do Frozen, you do Pirates, you do Big Hero 6, and you do Monsters Inc. And then that's pretty much it. And then we start getting into the end game, the stuff with the Keyblade Graveyard, those last couple of scenes between the enemies and friends, and then we jump into the final battle. I think that would have been way better paced if they did it that way, instead of having you play as Riku like 2 times during the middle of the game, and then at the end of the game you get Aqua, then you get Ventus, then you get everybody interacting, then you get all the cutscenes, then you go to the Keyblade Graveyard. I feel like that was just way too much shoved in at the end. They could have paced that out much better, in my personal opinion. If you disagree, that's fine, but that's just how I feel about some of the pacing in this game overall, and I feel like it's very awkward. That you're basically majority doing Disney shit for the complete majority of the game, to be honest. And then right here at the end, it's like, yo, here we go. We got to do all this Kingdom Hearts stuff. Let's just shove it all here in the last 6 to 7 hours. I feel like it would have been much better if they paced that out a lot better. So that's my opinions on the pacing of this game. And last but not least, let's talk about this ending and the epilogue and the secret ending. I'm going to be making videos about a lot of story topics separately and going in depth, but generally my opinions on them. Let's talk about the ending to the game. I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3's actual ending, not the epilogue, not the secret ending, when we see Kairi and Sora on the beach on that tree and you know what happens. I felt like that was a shitty way to end the game. I'm just going to be real. I felt like that was a really shitty way to end the game. If they wanted to end it that way, if Tetsuya Nomura really wanted to do that, what he could have did is basically hold off on letting Sora disappear, right? Let's just let everybody think it was a happy ending and Sora and everybody are back on the island and everything is peachy dory. And then in the beginning of the next game, we cut back to this scene, but in the background we hear what Mickey says about using the power of waking. We cut back to what young Xehanort says about using the power of waking in the way that Sora is using it. And then we go back to that same scene and then we see Sora disappear. That would have been much better. At least when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 3 and finishing off the Xehanort saga, I think we should have had it on a definitive happy note and then still had the epilogue and the secret ending go as they played out, in my personal opinion. I don't think we should have saw Sora disappearing at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. We could have saved that for the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 4 or even in a trailer for the next Kingdom Hearts game. Not right here at the end. I feel like that was really, really bad, in my personal opinion. Next, they failed Kairi once again. She did not get her justice. Terra used to be a character that I just extremely disliked. In this game, he is redeemed a lot. I enjoy Terra a lot in this game for the scenes that he is in. But Kairi, they didn't do her justice. We thought in the Dream Drop Distance, oh, she's training to be a Keyblade wielder now. Okay, that's going to be cool. That's going to be fine. That's going to be great and dandy. She has one fight with Sayax and Xion. And then halfway through the fight, she gets kidnapped and doesn't even fight back. Then Xehanort kills her. What? What was the point of even making her a Keyblade wielder if she was just going to die? There was no point. There was no point in making Kairi a Keyblade wielder. She took up precious time that we could have allocated to something else if this was all you were going to do with her. This is bad. This is really bad. So I don't know if Tetsuya Nomura doesn't like the character of Kairi anymore, or he has some type of issue, or is this leading into something else, but this was really, really bad in my personal opinion. This was horrible. Kairi has honestly went to one of my most hated characters just because she takes up screen time and still has yet to do anything. She has been in this series since the first game, and other than getting kidnapped, she has not done much of anything. And it's really starting to throw me off and really wonder why she is still in this series if they're not going to use her in a really productive way other than being a damsel in distress. It's really annoying at this point, honestly. So I'm going to leave it off on that point because I could rant about that forever. Next, getting into the epilogue. The epilogue was great. There's nothing that needs to be said. The epilogue was amazing. Lucio being Xigbar this whole time, great. I didn't see it coming. We all felt that Xigbar was something more than just a second in command. And this was shown in a couple of scenes, like in Dream Drop Distance, where you do Sora's final boss battle. And basically, Xigbar goes out of his way and tells Xemnas, no, you handle this. I'm not dealing with this kid. You handle Sora. I'm not doing this. So there's always been that thing where it looks like Xigbar is more the second in command in comparison to Ansem Seeker of Darkness or Xemnas and even young Xehanort. But the fact that he's been Lucio this whole time, and the fact that the reason why he stuck with Master Xehanort so long is not because he wanted a Keyblade, he wanted his Keyblade back. Because we all know that No-Heart has special abilities that many other Keyblades just don't. That was a crazy reveal and I enjoyed that all the way. It was amazing. There's nothing else that needs to be said. I'm going to be making videos about that stuff later and talking about Xigbar in a character discussion video. But moving on from there, last but not least in this video, the secret ending. It was alright at best. From what I can understand of the ending, and I'll be going more in depth with this in the breakdown video, it seems like Sora is either in real world Tokyo, or he's in Shibuya specifically, which is the setting of The World Ends With You, which I'm playing through right now. It's a really good game. You should try it out if you have a DS or Switch. But it could be that Sora is going to be entering the Reaper's game, which would be a very cool concept. So that could be happening, but we don't really know what's going on. It just looks like really realistic Tokyo, but we don't see anybody in the streets with Sora, which is really weird because Tokyo is the most populated city in the entire world. So that's going to be something interesting to see. Next, we get a cut to Riku, and he's waking up in a world that looks very realistic as well. And then we hear the song that is very similar to the original Versus 13 trailers song. I believe it's called Somnus, if I'm correct, but don't quote me on that. I don't know the name of the song. But then we see Vernon Rex. Then we see the main character of Vernon Rex, which is, I think, Yorza or something like that. I believe that's what his name was. Which is basically an FF13 versus spinoff or parody. Because, you know, FF15 is highly different from what a lot of people have said. It's very different. It could be that Nomura is developing this Vernon Rex universe. Maybe he's going to be making a new game to complement the Kingdom Hearts series, and maybe see what his original vision of Versus 13 was going to be in comparison to what FF15 became. That could be something going down. And then last but not least, we see somebody who's either Lucio or the Master of Masters, presumably, looking up at a regular moon, cupping their hands and making a heart symbol. So we don't know exactly what is going on in this secret ending. In comparison to the Birth by Sleep and Deep Dive secret endings of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, I didn't enjoy it as much, but let's say that this isn't a secret ending for the next Kingdom Hearts game, but in this final mix DLC, for the first time since Kingdom Hearts has been around, and they've made a new game other than 0.2, but 0.2 was a tech demo, they have the ability to make DLC content and DLC story add-ons. This just might be a preview for what the final mix or the really big update Tetsuya Nomura was talking about, because he said in an interview that he would prefer to make little updates here and there for free, and then when it comes to a big overall patch and update, he would prefer to do that in one big dump as a DLC bundle, as opposed to making several smaller DLCs and piecing them together. So we can assume that final mix for Kingdom Hearts 3 may be extremely different than any other Kingdom Hearts game. Other than just adding small cutscenes here and there, we might actually get big story updates to the game as well. Because this is the first generation where a fully made Kingdom Hearts game is on next-gen consoles with DLC capabilities. So that is going to be very interesting to see. So I have nothing else to say. I'm going to go more in depth about story topics and other such things in later videos coming up in this week and the weeks moving forward. I am also going to be doing more videos talking about other JRPG series, because there are a lot of JRPGs coming out this year, and other fighting games, because those are what I mainly play, JRPGs and fighting games. And if you want to see anything specific on this channel, let me know down below. So with that being said, there's some things about Kingdom Hearts 3 I don't like, there's some things I really do like, but overall I enjoyed the game. I felt like I got my money's worth. Overall, I can't wait to see what comes next in this series, because I'm always going to love Kingdom Hearts, for better or for worse. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And if you do comment, I'll be looking out down there. So let's discuss. What are some opinions that you maybe disagree with me about? What are some things that you do agree with me about? And what are some things maybe you felt that I didn't mention in this video? So with that being said, I will see you all in the next one.